So this is how I store gas out here at my land. I don't have a huge tank. This is a 75-gallon tank, and it usually takes 2 trips to the gas station to fill it up because of how much it costs, especially now. I just filled this thing up. It cost me $350 to fill this thing up. But like I said, it's 75 gallons. It's got a fill right pump on it. And this used to be mounted in the back of my truck, but I kind of got tired of it being back there. It used up a lot of the bed of my truck. So I took it and I mounted it on these plastic pallets. So that way I could move it around with the skid steer with the forks, and I could put it in the back of the truck, go fill it up. And then when I'm done filling it up, I'll just pick it back out of the truck with the skid steer and set it either on the pallet racks we have or underneath the carport area where I have some of my equipment. But it's got this hose. It's got an extra long hose on this tank, but you really don't need a hose that long. I bought this from a guy who needed, I guess, a really long hose for his tank. And I got this used. I think I found it on Craigslist or something like that. But it works pretty good. I've been pretty happy with it, and it carries enough fuel to fill up my backhoe and my skid steer, even if they're both completely empty, and I still have some left over, but usually they're not both completely empty. And then of course I put some extension on this. I actually got a pair of jumper cables, cheaper pair of jumper cables, and I cut them, and then I ran the wire all the way so that way it could go from the bed of my truck all the way to the front of my truck and connect to the battery. So if you'll look at that, here's just the ends of those jumper cables, and this is just where I can connect to it and jump it on the battery. That's how I fill my equipment out at the land. I don't go through a massive amount of fuel, so this works out really well for me. Keeps my fuel somewhat fresh. But I do also have a water separator on this tank, so that helps a lot too. So I just use this to fill up my equipment. I can carry it around on the forks if I need to on the skid steer, or I can just put it in the back of the truck like this. It's almost full, and then here it comes. That's it. Now I go unplug it. If I needed to, I could run it off the battery of the piece of equipment. It would reach that too when I pull the truck up next to it. But sometimes those batteries are kind of weak, like on my backhoe. This thing's always going through batteries, so I just run it off the truck. Makes it easier. All right, well, if that was helpful, please like the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already, if you would subscribe to the channel, that helps me out. Thanks for watching. Y'all be safe out there.